Good morning. It's the pollinator. And boy, is this going to be a video to remember. The It's like 4, almost going on 4:30 in the morning on, I want to look over there on December 29th, 2017. The title of this video is called Facebook Employee Terrorism. So let me see if I can put together some thoughts here. Actually, before I do that, anybody who knows me, remind me again why I should not be watching people like Louis Farrakhan and some of these Hotep blacks that are very popular amongst the cisgender, heterosexual, well, that community is Muslim, but, you know, it would seem to me that the religious communities around the nation, the black religious communities, are just on a mission to blame so many things on homosexuality. And, you know, I'm just waiting for it to come out of his mouth to blame black people's problems on being transgender. I don't know what the... I heard the most ridiculous thing I ever heard in my life, and people start clapping in the crowd, and I was like, okay, what's going on here? He said something about, did you know that homosexuality can be created chemically in human beings? Okay, now this is like some really bizarre conspiracy theory shit that has no basis in reality, and there's people who believe it. That's what's the scary part about this, is not only, you know, I've been sitting here, I stopped a Roland Martin video, his last video with TV1, where he's got this thing going on in the video that says Trump lies matter. Trump lies matter. And he keeps playing that over and over and over throughout the segment, and I haven't even gotten through. Gee, I don't know how it's a long video, but there are so many liars going on. Okay, so let me so anyway, remind me not to watch any more Hotep black people, because they are just... and preachers. I don't want to watch people who are so, their brains, even though they're extremely intelligent people. I mean, I was going along fine. A lot of what Farrakhan was saying was great until he started in on the homosexuals again. I can't get through one of his videos without him bringing that up. Why is that such an issue for that man? For real. Ain't nobody stopping heterosexual people from procreation. But he mentioned some other things that are very true about the reality of, you know, black experimentation on black people, black bodies, especially after death. You know, who, God knows who's doing what to their bodies. And, you know, because of some of the stuff that's going on, the sperm counts are down in black men, how they funnel water through black communities and put things in the water that could be affecting our health, things of that nature. That stuff started making sense until he started talking about, oh, and did you know, by the way. Okay, so let me jump into this, because I don't want to make this terribly long, although I do want to get through it. So some employee of Facebook has made it their personal mission to try to isolate me, try to push me into the corner, try to segregate me from making any kind of impact around Facebook at all. And I'm just one guy. But here's the difference between me and a lot of the other black transgender people on Facebook. And that is the fact that my agenda is about being black, not about being transgender. So, and there isn't anybody transgender with the agenda of being pro-black on Facebook. I'm just now realizing why they've been attacking me and the things that they've been doing, and what it's really all boiling down to. They're trying to force me off that platform. But let me tell you how they're doing it. Let me tell you how it started. It actually started before it started. But when I really noticed what was going on is when a group that I was running, I had created and had been running for over, I think over a year, they crippled the group. And anybody that I talked to about this didn't understand software, and they didn't understand the difference between the group being shut down and the group being crippled. And the way that it was crippled was that you couldn't see any posts that were more than 2 days old. It would just stop and hang and freeze right there. So the group wasn't shut down. They didn't get rid of the group. They just crippled the group. Only a Facebook employee could do this, okay? Can't nobody put spam or viruses, whatever, in a particular group on Facebook. It's a platform. It's a big old huge piece of software, and if there's a virus in one group, it's going to be a virus in everybody's group. If there's spam in one group, there's going to be a spam in everybody's group. If there's malware in one group, there's going to be malware in every group. And there are no viruses or spam or malware on Facebook. So some employee did that. And let me tell you why. Sometime last year, I made a post that I actually found somewhere else on Facebook talking about the experimentation of Facebook on its users. Be it an employee, be it a group of employees, be it the management telling the employees to do this, be it the government being in on it, whatever, they were doing experimentation and seeing how far they can push people on Facebook, traumatizing them, being little fucking terrorists behind the scene, because there is no tech support on Facebook. There's nobody to call. There's nobody to do anything about anything if they don't feel like it, okay? And as of now, they pretty much, they love to fuck around with Facebook and put enhancements in it. But when things are broken and when their enhancements break something, they just leave it broken. Because there is no fucking tech support. There's nobody in between the users, this stupid ass reporting system that is not tech support, and software developers. We'll call them web developers. There may be software developers behind the web developers, but the web developers are responsible for implementing anything that's being handed to them to put into Facebook. And they're just doing it on the fly. Back in the day of my software development days, we had to have what was called the first level of quality assurance on software changes was called alpha testing. First, we had to test our own changes, okay, individually, and then in meetings. Then we passed it off to a internal quality assurance team who ran all of the changes on our particular piece of software through a test suite, and let the test suite try to work out some of the bugs that were in it, some of the things that weren't working about it as a result of the changes we were putting into it. Then after the test suite, we would pass it off to an external to our department quality assurance, huge test suite that would combine all of the products of that company and just run it through this huge super test suite that would QA quality, do quality assurance on the entire list of products in that company. Make sure that wasn't broke. Then after that succeeded for the most part. I mean, nothing is ever bug-free. But once that succeeded, then we had what were called beta testers or beta users, which was an external to the company group of people who we'd hand off our products to, and they would bang on it. Because, see, software developers in your own little world don't know everything that users are doing with the software. So you need to hand it off to people who are doing just, every user does something different with that software. So just hand it off to a whole group of users, which could run into the thousands of people, and let them bang on it for a month or two until they started uncovering bugs. And they had a direct link between the beta users and tech support or software development, so that they can tell us what was wrong with it far before we released it to the world, see? And then for that period of time, there would be communication going back between the beta testers and software development, and we would be fixing things, and so we go back and forth like that until everybody, I suppose, the upper echelon of people were satisfied that we could actually release these changes to the world. Okay, and then the software would get released as a total solution for our company. Okay, so I just gave you a little history lesson in software development. That does not exist at all anymore for anybody. Not YouTube, not Google, not Facebook, not any of them. They just throw shit in there on the fly. They ain't testing it with nobody. There is no tech support. So there are no beta testers. There are no there's this alpha and release it to everybody. Over 2 billion people on Facebook. So anyway, let's go back to this story about them doing tests, psychological, emotional tests on users of Facebook. See, there is nobody standing in the way of the users of Facebook and these people making all these changes, and these they got called the Facebook police that are running around doing whatever the hell they want to do to your accounts or whatever. And it's also so they are, somebody had a meeting somewhere that probably spilled the beans that they were doing psychological tests on users. But I know that is true now more than ever, because they crippled my group. Nothing that I did or said to them made whoever that was fix it. And they just let a week go by without fixing that group. And all of a sudden one day, it just started working. Nobody from Facebook would talk to me. Nobody would talk to my users or my members of my group. I had them submitting reports about the behavior in the group, because first it happened to me. Then it started happening to everybody else. Everybody else saw what I saw, which was you couldn't see past a couple of days worth of posts. And if anybody knows about that platform, things happen very fast on Facebook. Not only is it interactive, constantly 24 hours a day it's interactive, but things inside of groups happens very quickly as well. So, you can easily, if you've got an active group, you could easily have 50 posts to more, not including comments, going on per day inside of groups. If it's dead, nothing's going on. But if it's active, lots of things are going on inside of 24 hours. So I started barking about the state of the nation, the racial inequalities in America, when I started observing and watching the news and seeing that they were killing black people left and right, be it in prisons, be it in jails, be it in traffic stops, be it in whatever. They were killing black people, and I blew up. The black man in me woke up. And I started putting that on my timeline. And somebody at Facebook didn't like it, so they attacked my group. Then let us all sit there looking at each other for a week before they fixed it. So then they left my group alone for a while, but they didn't leave me alone. And I mean, they were doing everything from messing with a name I had created. I had my legal first name, I had my legal last name, and I had a nickname in the middle. And some asshole at Facebook started harassing me about that name. Well, is that on your ID? Is that... Blah, blah, blah. There are millions of people, billions of people probably on Facebook who they don't use their legal name. I've seen so many nicknames that ain't even funny. But see, they they target specific people and then just go after them. And they never stop, because with over 24,000 employees around the world, and managers don't know what their employees are doing, and they're not being held accountable for what their employees are doing, and then the vice presidents aren't being held accountable for what the managers letting their employees do, and then the vice presidents, it just goes up the chain where there is no accountability and responsibility for anything going on that platform. I mean, none. But see, this is not to scare you, because guess what? It's that way for every platform, social media platform. Every single one of them. It is that way. There is nothing standing in between you and them. So, if the thought is to become a mole and run away from all social media platforms, that is not the answer or the solution. Anyway, so I'm very vocal. I am a pro-black man who, probably according to one of them or a group of them or whatever over on that platform, they may think I'm arrogant. They may think I'm, they need to put me in my place. They need to, they want to slow down the fact that people are starting to notice what I'm saying, how I'm saying it, when I'm saying it, where I'm saying it, that kind of thing. So they also begin to attack my account by pretending to log in, having some user log in over and over. And I told that in my last video about that. Then over Thanksgiving, I posted a Roland Martin video into a bunch of groups, having no idea whatsoever that I knew racism was a problem, because I kept getting attacked in groups. I got called the N-word. A bunch of people tried to jump on. A whole bunch of white people were talking about Miss Monroe, the supermodel that worked for L'Oreal. And they were attacking her, and I wasn't having it. So I jumped in there and defended her. Me and some other person in there were defending her and saying they were out of line for the things that they were saying about that supermodel. And things like this kept happening over and over and over again in different groups, all transgender. Imagine that. These weren't heterosexual cisgender groups I was in. These were all transgender groups. And now, have you ever had a dream where you are running away from something, but you couldn't see what was chasing you? If this isn't psychological warfare against me, I don't know what is. But there is somebody at Facebook, there may be multiple people at Facebook who are attacking my account and attacking me and attacking who I am, using my groups and any other means necessary without revealing their identity. They won't talk to me. They won't say anything so that I don't know who they are. This is part of their little conspiracy that they're doing. So over Thanksgiving, they blocked my account from having any group activity because they didn't like what I was posting in groups with mixed people in them. They weren't just POC groups. They were white people. There were all kinds of people in those groups. But of course, they don't say anything. They don't tell me if somebody reported me or because nobody reported me. This is just some Facebook employee that is taking it upon themselves to follow me around. And whatever they don't like, because they can see where I'm posting things, whatever they don't like, they shut it down. They try to shut me down. So they blocked me for, I don't know, 5 days or something like that. I didn't get to, interact with the groups that I was involved, that I moderate and that I am an admin for during that period of time. And then it was after I came off of that, after Thanksgiving, I came back and I said point blank on my timeline, you know what, I'm going to keep doing what I do. You're not going to stop me from doing what I do. I deserve just as much of a right to say whatever I want to on my timeline and in my groups as the next guy. Not so, really. Maybe if you're white, maybe if you're other kind of POC, but there is an all-out fucking war being waged against black people. Black transgender people. See, here's the thing. I belong to lots of different kinds of groups. I belong to heterosexual, cisgender, black groups with tens of thousands of people in them. Facebook isn't bothering them. They're messing with my little ass group where I'm the only admin and there's only a few hundred people in there, and they're just tripping out about me having the agenda that I have that isn't in line with all the other transgender people on Facebook. So I guess I'm intimidating or scaring somebody, but so I came off of that, and then they started attacking my account, making me change my password 3 times a day, 4 times a day, until I finally sent a report saying, I know it's you guys. Then they stopped, and then I changed my email address. Which, I fully expect whoever this troll is working for Facebook to keep doing what they're doing to my account. Because nobody's watching them. Nobody's stopping them. Nobody's watching them. And the people that are watching me, that do believe in me, that do love me, that are my friends, people I mentor, they got them scared. Guilt by association, scared they're going to do to them what they're doing to me, which, they're not me. They're not stirring it up like I am anyway. So, it's just this paranoia that people have going on there. Oh my God, if I support him, then they're going to come after me or whatever. But those people aren't doing what I do on Facebook, on my timeline. So then I made another post on behalf of a doctor. And I've made this post before into a bunch of groups. I no longer remember which groups that I put that post in, but it was a guy that was looking for transgender male people of color. He wanted to do a study. And he had enough non-black transgender male interviews. So now he was looking to me to help him find trans male people of color. And so I sent that message to a bunch of groups. Nothing happened. Well, I did it again, except this time I broadened the horizons, even looking for more people of color, trans male people of color. And so I just put them all willy-nilly all over the place. Maybe like 60, I think the last count was 66 groups. And for that, again, I got locked the hell out. I got prevented from posting last week into groups, my own groups, or commenting in my own group and any other group. I'm not even going to tell you the extent of which this is illegal because they're preventing me from participating in groups I'm actually paying a company to be in. So they're, you know what? Anyway, so they put me in Facebook group jail again. I don't ever do anything that violates community standards. You know, those standards are so snaky. They remind me of the goddamn lion-ass Trump. It's just a lie. They apply standards however they feel like applying standards. And if you read the standards, they're so damn vague that they can make up anything to be a standard and say that that's a standard and say that isn't a standard. Racism, calling somebody a nigga is standard on Facebook. What the fuck kind of racist standard is that? And if somebody calls you that, they aren't committing a violation of their standards. Oh, but if somebody complains about me or makes them aware that I'm posting in their groups, not talking directly to anybody, I'm violating some kind of standard because they keep locking me out. So, this is a psychological cat and mouse, psychological warfare on me. So, this is so absurd. And everybody that I tell this to is like, oh my God, they are doing too much. I said, yeah, they are. And guess what? Can you stop them? No, I have to find an attorney. And I ain't even going to tell you what's going on with that right now because I don't want to, you know what? They're watching my goddamn videos too. Okay? And they don't like the fact that I write for Huffington Post. And I will write about this crap and then release it out all over the place. Oh no, I'm a Negro out of control in their opinion, probably. Whoever this is. Like I said again, it could be one employee, it could be multiple employees, it could be a manager. Fuck, for all I know, it could be Zuckerberg, whatever the fuck you call that guy, that's CEO, or any of the minions. Any of the minions. It could be any of them. So I had a very tough 2 years with a lady that we've just been having a really hard time getting along, getting through my transition and her transition and with my transition. And on the 27th, which was day before yesterday now, I proposed to her. And I made it very, very public on Facebook. And I released a YouTube video that I made proposing to her in 2015, the first time. I released that. I put that on my timeline. And I was doing some other things. And haven't posted to any groups yet. Except my own. Except the group that I admin. And I started posting in my own group. When suddenly I saw something that said they said it was spam. And I clicked around, started looking around, and I screen print everything. I'm screen printing everything they're doing. And I'm feeding it to a couple of different businesses and organizations. But, so I couldn't comment. So, I gave it to somebody else and told her to put it in there. And so she put it in there, and then she couldn't comment. So I went back in and tried to comment again, and they locked me out again out of groups. This time, not because I posted to any group, not because I was talking to anybody, not because I got in an argument with anybody, not for any reason whatsoever. So it is a Facebook employee, or multiple ones. And I keep finding these Facebook security people on my page. I keep blocking them, but I keep finding them. They keep assigning them to my page. Are they doing too much? Hell yeah, they're doing too much over one guy. 2 billion plus users on Facebook, and one little motherfucking shit of an employee that ain't got no balls, ain't got no heart, ain't got a coward, is attacking my account and me. covertly, because they don't have anything in place to identify who these people are. So they done locked me out again for no reason whatsoever this time until after New Year's, knowing full goddamn well that I run my group, that I create most of the activity, 90% of the activity in the group. And yes, I do have some moderators, but they're not me. I mean, they don't generate what I generate, and I don't give them much responsibility to do anything but throw some posts in there every now and then. And so, I fully prepare these assholes to keep experimenting, keep trying to experiment on me, disenfranchise my group, disenfranchise me, spook my users, whatever. They're probably all scared, like I said, thinking that this is whatever's good happening to me is going to happen to them, and whatever they do is somehow going to be a vendetta against them. And you know what? This is step in line with the fucking mood of this country, if I ever seen it. And it's not just the mood of the country, it's the mood of the world. There's moves being made to segregate and separate the racial divide from black and then everybody else. Headed by supremacist, power-hungry, greedy, rich white men. And it's happening right in front of your eyes. And those who eyes aren't open, they have no idea what's going on. They're not looking, they don't research, they're kind of, it seemed to me to be research illiterate, where they don't actually double check anything, they don't actually read anything, they just, somebody told them something and they believe it. And I've seen this happen in groups, where somebody said something that was completely not true, but it started spreading. And before you knew it, a whole bunch of people were anxious and upset about this one thing that probably just one person started. Because they didn't check on the facts. They didn't check behind the information that was being spread to see if it was true by calling the source. It was veterans oriented type of thing. But again, all of this shit is happening inside of transgender groups. But it may not be those people. This employee may want me to think it's them. Or it is them. So see, again, this is the nightmare, this is the dream, where something's chasing you and you don't see what's chasing you. And they want it to be that way because they're playing games with me. They're trying to play games with my head. They're playing games with my emotions. They're playing fucking dangerous games with a human being. I'm a fucking human being. I don't care what the hell you think, Facebook employee, but I am human. Above all else. It doesn't matter what the color of my skin is. To you it matters. But to humanity, it doesn't matter. I'm a great guy. It's just too bad you don't fucking know that. And all you're doing is going after, you're probably like, I don't want to insult millennials, but let me tell you, they've been dumbed down to believe and be little followers. And whoever this is malicious. They are maliciously disrupting the flow of what I do on purpose because they can get away with it. And how many times have you seen that happen on Facebook and social media platforms, where people will just do things just to see if they can get away with it, and the only ones that are actually getting away with it are white people. Everybody else is going to suffer some kind of consequence that is far, far greater than what white people do, and that's the same step in step with what's going on in society nationwide and worldwide, where, I don't want to really say the real word that's happening here, but something's got to give. And I just wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if 2018 there's going to be a huge attack on the black vote. You can not believe that if you don't want to, but it's already happened in Alabama, and if it can be duplicated in Alabama, it can be duplicated nationwide. They want the white supremacists to stay in Washington, D.C., and they want every senator and House of Representatives to stay right where they're at. And they're trying to pass laws right now to keep the Supreme Court justices in office until they die. There will be no retirement for those people. They are enacting, they're putting together legislation right now to keep anybody that idiot puts in the Supreme Court able to keep their job for the rest of their life. Look, white nationalism is here. This ain't a democracy anymore, people. And it hasn't been a democracy for black people ever. We ain't never got a fair shake. We've never gotten an equal shake. We have never gotten, I mean, everything we do, we have to fight for it. And when we do fight for it, we only get this much of what we're supposed to get. All men are created equal. Ha! In whose world? Not Earth. We may be born that way, but everything that's going on worldwide is about domination. So, yeah, we're equally born, and that's it. We don't equally live the same way. We don't equally have the same rights. We don't equally have the same opportunities. We don't equally, there's hardly no black people that are able to hand down houses and money and trust funds and this and that down to their children. That doesn't exist in our culture. That exists in the white culture, and exists in the Asian culture, and exists in the Hispanic culture, and it may even exist in the American Indian culture. But we are the only culture who has been without that particular type of economics in the United States. And they aim to keep it that way. The white supremacists aim to keep everything not only the way it is, but bring back old Jim Crow stuff, which never ever went away. They just did away with that name. But the prison system is nothing other than modern day slavery. It's a big business. They made lots and lots and lots of money out of keeping the prisons filled. And who's filling those prisons? Black people. Black men and women. And so, no wonder it's hands off on the transgenders who are running around that they're just about their transition. And black transgender people just being about their transition. And Hispanic transgender people being just about their transition. See, nobody has a problem with the transition part because they know we don't have no power in that. We don't have no rights in this country. And the idiots in Congress are going to make sure that doesn't change. If anything, it's going to go backwards because they're, still trying to attack the active duty military that are transgender. And there's just there's all so many pieces that are people being attacked. And there's just one guy, black transgender man on Facebook who dares to have enough courage and dignity and self-esteem that I'm threatening their precious little fucking world. And so they're coming after me like stink on shit. And hey, they're gonna come home. The roosters are gonna come home to roost. Whoever is doing this is gonna be made to pay. And if they can't find this person, the executives will pay. But somebody's gonna pay for what they're doing. This is inhumane. This is like terrorism. This is like what's those bombs that not nuclear warfare, but the chemical warfare, where you kill a whole bunch of people and can't nobody see the smoke, can't nobody see the bomb. But so they're pulling some shit with me and playing games, and sooner or later it's gonna catch up to Facebook, cause I ain't going nowhere. I may get discouraged, I may even get down a little bit, but you know, I'm not a coward. I wasn't born to run. I wasn't born to hide. I wasn't born to do any of that shit except be who the hell I am. And, you know, I'm too old to, I'm from the civil rights era. I don't step it and fetch it for nobody. And they don't like a black people who don't bow down to them. I'll never bow down. I'll be friends with you. I'll be equal with you. But I ain't gonna bow down to you. And for that, they're gonna make me suffer as much and as much as possible. I could come off of this Facebook group jail just for them to make up something else and just put me right back there. I mean, they can go on and on and on with this until they're found. I did invite my friends and my family and whatever to file reports, you know, so that it's documented more what they're doing. But, you know, I don't have much faith in that because people are scared to have a voice. And for anybody who is representative of a large group of people's voice, Facebook people are threatened. Employees are threatened by that. It's satanic what is going on. What these people are allowed to do and get away with is literally made of the devil and is evil, and they're being the enemy. I don't even know who the enemy is, except I know they're Facebook employees because I know how software works. And as I explained earlier in this video, ain't nobody QAing nothing. In fact, there are features in my group right now that they refuse to implement that have been implemented in other groups because I see it in the other groups. And whenever I ask them to do anything, whenever I send a report, for all I know, that employee, whoever's been chasing me around, intercepts my reports and just throws them away or makes it so nobody else can see them. That is 100% possible that everything could be going through my account. The reports from my account could be going through one person so that whatever they feel like addressing, they'll address them. Whatever they don't feel like addressing, they won't. That goes for trying to appeal what they're doing. It's probably going through the same person, and they're just throwing it away or just ignoring it. So, because I keep asking, why are you blocking me now? And they very cleverly won't say anything. Because they know I might engage them in a conversation to find out that it is an employee and not somebody in a group. Because this last time it wasn't anybody in a group. The reason why they locked me out of them. But they make it so that I can actually see what's going on in them, and I get notifications for them, and it's called limited group access. These people, whoever this is, they know they being evil as fuck. They're probably going to go to hell for what they're doing, especially if I end up having any kind of a breakdown as a result of it, which will be documented as well. But, you know, again, blacks who don't bow down to these white people are just gonna catch hell. And for me, it's not because solely because I'm black, because they're not going after any other kind of black person except me as a black transgender man. They got all sorts of problems with my politics, from being transgender to being black, but being all about pro-black. So anyway, I just wanted to make this video because I'm also going to submit it as evidence to what is going on for the attorneys that I'm speaking to. But I wanted to let the rest of the world know what was going on too. And so I'm going to say this and then close out. If you've never seen me before and you'd like to hear more from me, future videos or whatever, first you have to subscribe. Then you have to click bell to get notifications when I upload a video. That way, you know, I don't care if you give me likes and all that other stuff that a lot of other YouTubers do. But if you do want to see more of me and to be notified when I do upload the videos, that's what you need to do. Is there anything else I wanted to say? Nah. Just that, you know what? Happy New Year. I probably won't make another video before New Year's. But what a way to try to rain on somebody's parade and then not even care. I don't know how that person sleeps at night. I don't know how evil sleeps at night. Maybe they don't sleep at night. You can't be that, downtrodden and be a peaceful, happy person if your mission is to go make somebody unhappy on purpose. So with that, Happy New Year. I hope everybody has a blessed rest of the week. I'll see y'all back after the New Year.